Hello, I'm Stinky, and this is an introduction to Lua coding in Roblox. Roblox as a whole is coded in the coding language C++. However, games inside of Roblox use a language called Lua, which is a coding language commonly used for programming things inside of a larger software. So I'm going to explain coding, assuming that you know absolutely nothing, you're brand new to Roblox Studio, and you are generally just lost. So the first thing you want to do, you go to roblox.com and you want to download Roblox Studio. So you press the create button at the top, and there should be an open studio button. If there isn't, there should be some kind of button that says download studio. So I'm going to open Studio, and once Studio is opened, I will explain what you should have it be configured to, what windows you should have open, what settings, and all of those will be incredibly vital for you to be able to code, like it is required. So as Roblox is installing, I recommend that you also open up Roblox Studio and follow my steps. You can follow along if you want to. And keep in mind, this isn't just a quick tutorial. If you want to fully understand a topic, you have to be willing to sit down and learn about it, possibly for several hours at a time. And learning how to code is a longer process, and it opens up new ideas as to how certain algorithms work, how to think differently. You have to think like a computer, and this will definitely help you out with that. And learning is definitely a longer process. It's like learning a new language, which is why it's commonly referred to as a language. So, to make a new game, assuming you are here, you can go ahead and press new, and whenever you're starting a new game, most of the time you just want to go ahead and do classic baseplate. That's my personal go-to. In fact, all Stinky Script games are made in classic baseplate. So the first thing you want to do is establish it as an actual place. So save to Roblox, which you can do by pressing File at the top left and pressing Save to Roblox. You can just give it a name. I'll give it Scripting Tutorial World, and you can give it any description. You can change the creator to you or a group that you have placed permission in, and you can also change what devices are allowed to play. And then you press Save. And to find this save, you can always go to create.roblox.com and view your dashboard, and in your experiences, it'll show up as your most recent place. So now that it has saved, it likely relaunched. If not, then that's okay. So I'm going to close everything I have. So if you go to View at the top, there are several tabs at the top: Home, Model, Avatar, Test, View, and Plugins. You can double click it to have it always show, which I will do. And there are several windows, such as Explorer, Properties. I'm going to tell you which ones you want to have open. The first one you want to open is the Explorer. It's probably one of the most important things that you can have in the game. Inside of Explorer, you have objects such as Workspace, which contain all the parts and all kinds of stuff. It contains the players, the characters, all that stuff. And you also want to have the Properties window open. So when you select an object in Explorer, so for example, if you select the base plate, in Properties, you'll get all the information and settings you can have for that part. So for example, if I were to change the transparency property of that part to 0.5, it will become partially transparent. So I'll bring that back to 0, and I'll just leave it how it is. The next thing you want to have open is output. Output is very important. It can help you troubleshoot problems that you have while scripting, and it can give you information about how your script is performing, and it's just generally a good habit to have it. You also want to have the command bar open, which will show it. It'll remain at the bottom. I don't think I'll be using it at all, at least for this tutorial. And I think that is all you need to have. Alright, so I will go ahead and explain some stuff. So in the Explorer, you have Workspace, Players. So anytime a player joins, they will be put inside of the player's object in Explorer. There's also lighting. You can change the lighting. Right now, the most important ones are Workspace and Server Script Service. So to make a script, the first thing you want to do is right click on Server Script Service, because Server Script Service, its script service, is just generally the place where you want to have most of your scripts. So to insert a script, you right click on Server Script Service, then you click Insert Object. After you click Insert Object, you want to click Script. Now it'll put you into a script, and so right here it says print hello world in parentheses and quotation marks. Here in the output, when we run the game, when we test the game, it will automatically put in text that says hello world into your output. So if we go ahead and start the game, you can see that it says hello world right here, and if you click on it, it takes you to that position in the script. So if you were to ever have a problem in the script, or you wanted to print anything anywhere in the script, you could it would just show up in the output, and you can click it and you can troubleshoot it. So that's how print works. Alright, so the first concept, scripting concept, I want to explain is values and booleans. And it's actually very simple to understand. So inside of a script, whenever you make a new value, essentially you just say value equals, it can be anything. So if you want your value to be the number 2, then the word value represents the number 2. And if we were to have something else, such as banana, so we write down banana, we could have banana represent the number 8. And anytime you type in banana, the script will interpret it as the number 8. And you can do the same thing with text. So if we were to type in, let's say text equals, if we were to assign actual text to a value, you have to put it in quotation marks. No matter what. If you ever want to have text, it has to be in quotation marks. Or else, if you were to type in banana without quotation marks, it would be the number 8. Text would equal 8. But if you put banana in quotation marks, text would be banana. Alright, so to assign a number in a script, anytime you are typing in a new value, you always want to start with local. Local is one of the most important things. What it does is it tells the script that you are trying to create a new value. And after local, you would put in the name of what you want the value to be. So for the value, we can name it banana. So local banana, and if we wanted the word banana to represent the number 8, we would type in local banana equals 9. So now anytime you type in the word banana in a script, it will automatically think of the number 9. We can test this. So now if we go into the script, let's make a value called banana and assign it to the number 9. So the first thing you want to do is type in local. Then after that, you type in the name of what you want the value to be. In this case, we want the name to be banana. And now to assign a number to it, we type in local banana equals 9. Now if the colors on your screen looks different from mine, I have my settings set to in Studio, I am using dark mode. I'm using dark theme right here. And in script editor, I am using a color custom color preset. You can see all those colors here. If you want to, you can copy all of them. I think it's something extra 1 or 2. It's similar to one of those. So now we have assigned the word banana to the number 9. And let's say, to give proof that it worked, let's print banana. In theory, when we print a banana, the number 9 should show up in the output. So if we type in print, and then parentheses, and then we put banana in those parentheses, what will happen is, after you type in print, and you put the parentheses, it will print into the output anything inside of those parentheses. So right here, you can see that we have assigned the number 9 to banana, and whenever we print banana, it will print the number 9. So we spawn in. Here you can see it has printed the number 9. Now what if we wanted to have banana represent text? Well, the first thing you do, you get rid of 9. And then to have text, you always, no matter what, you have to have quotation marks or apostrophes. But I recommend using quotation marks. And we can have banana represent, let's say this is a banana. So we type in this is a banana. What will happen here? It will print this is a banana, because the word banana represents this text. So once we start, you can see at the bottom it has printed this is a banana. So that's how prints work. And you can also do math inside of these. So if we wanted banana to represent 1 plus 2, we could do banana equals 1 plus 2. And if we press play, it should output 3. And you can see at the bottom, it has output 3. So if we can also do math using nicknames. So for example, if we were to add more values, so local number 1 would equal 1, and local second number would equal 4, we could do local banana equals number 1 plus second number. And what it'll do is it'll take the first number, which is represented as number 1, and it will add second number, which is represented as number 4, And when we press play, it should print the number 5. Yep, it printed the number 5. So that's how that works. So congratulations! You can now make values and do math in a script. I'm very proud of you. Alright, so the next thing is if statements. If statements are some of the most important things in a script. So to make an if statement, it's very straightforward. LUA, you simply start by typing in if. Then after that, you want to compare two values. So for example, if banana were to equal 9, so if banana were to equal 9, then do something. So to do that in a script, you literally type in if banana, and then here's the tricky part. You you type in 2 equals. You always type in 2 equals when you're comparing two values. If you type in 1 equal sign instead of 2, it will think you're trying to assign a value, kind of like what we're doing here. But we're not trying to assign a value, we're trying to compare two values. So right here, we're trying to compare the word banana to the number 9. And then after you do that, we type in then, and then you press enter. So it's pretty simple. If banana equals 9, then run the code afterwards. For example, right here, we don't have quotation in quotation marks, so it's using that as the reference. And banana equals 9, so if banana, or also known as the number 9, equals 9, then run the rest of the script. If we were to change this to the number 8, so if I erase that and I change it to the number 8, oops, it's a bit too thick. Right there, it would be if banana equals number 9, then it would not run the rest of the script because banana is 8, which is not 9. So let's put this into the script. Let's create the number that we want to compare. So let's give it a different nickname. Let's give it the nickname Apple. So local Apple equals 10. So now the word apple represents the number 10. And if we were to compare 10 to another number, you type in if apple equals 10, then to see if it works, we can print something. So let's make another value that we would want to print if apple equals 10. So let's make a new value. Local text equals apple does equal 10. So now we check if apple equals 10, and then we want to print text. So right here, once we get to here, apple is 10. So if apple equals 10, or if 10 equals 10, which it does, then it will print text. And the word text is represented as this. Apple does equal 10. So if we go ahead and run the script, you can see in the output, it says apple does equal 10. So we go ahead and stop. So now that you have done that, you can also print number values, such as apple. So if we were to print to apple, it would say, it would print the number 10, which you can see. So what would happen if we changed to apple as a number? What if apple equaled 39 instead of 10? So we go ahead and press play. it shouldn't print anything. Yep, it does not print anything because the apple, which is 39, does not equal 10. 39 does not equal 10. So if we were to keep this at 39, what if we wanted to have it print something if apple did not equal 10? Like, okay, so apple equals 10, cool, print this text. If apple does not equals 10, then print different text. So let's make a second text value. Local text 2 equals apple does not equal 10. And right here, we can type in if apple equal 10. If it does not equal 10, then you would type in else. So else will run if apple equals anything other than 10. So what happens is, after this line, if it confirms that apple equals 10, it will run anything immediately after that until else or end. If apple does not equal 10, then it will run anything after else until end. So here, if we were to have let's print text 2, and what will happen is, since apple does not equal 10, it will skip to else, and it will continue to run all the way to the end. And anything after the end will not be affected by the if statement. So if we were to put a print out here, and we change the text, so print line 15, since right here it's at line 15, it will run regardless of whether apple equals 10 or not, because it's after the if statement is finished. It is not affected by the if statement. So right here, apple equals 10. So if we change apple to equal 10, when we run, it should print apple does equal 10. It does equal 10, and it also printed line 15, which is down here. And now, if we go back in the script and we change apple to something other than 10, it should print apple does not equal 10. Yep, apple does not equal 10. So that's how you use an if statement. So now let's try changing an object. So to insert an object in home at your top bar, you simply just press the part button and it spawns in a new part. Now in the Explorer, part has been added inside of Workspace. So whenever a part is inside of Workspace, you press this little down arrow and it reveals everything inside of Workspace. Now if an object is inside of Workspace, that means the object is the child of the workspace. And if let's say we insert a script inside of the part, the parent of this script is the part because it's inside of the part. So we'll insert a script inside of the part. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is, let's say so how we created references before, for example, local banana represents the number 8. You can also represent parts in the workspace, which is very helpful. So what if we wanted banana to represent a part? So we type in part. How would we tell the script what part we want to select or reference banana as? So what you want to do is we start by typing in local banana to tell the script that we are making a new value by the name of banana, and to select a part in the Explorer, which is basically what we're doing. we have to find a starting point. So because what we can do is we can do workspace and then part, or we can do script and then part. We're going to start simply by doing workspace then part. You can do this by typing in workspace dot part. And what it'll do is in the Explorer, it will start at the workspace instance, and then it'll go to the part instance. It'll select whatever it finds first that is named part. Make sure that if you're doing this, you don't have multiple parts, because you can only do this to you can only select one part at a time. If there are multiple parts with the same name, it could get confused because it's trying to find one part even though there are multiple parts with the same name in that instance. So now, inside of that part, we have selected the part in the script, and let's say we wanted to change the transparency value to the part to 0.5. So if we change it to 0.5, the part becomes partially transparent. If we change it to 0, the part is completely transparent. If we change it to 1, the part is completely transparent. So essentially, it's like a percent value if you multiplied it by 100. Okay, so now what you want to do, if we were to change any property inside of this part, you would reference the name of the property. So now that we have the part referenced, we can go to another line, and we can say, if we were to change the transparency value, we would want to reference the transparency property. So what you do, you type in banana, because banana represents workspace.part, and then you would do banana.transparency, and you can press tab to fill it in for you, and make sure that you put in capitals. Make sure all the caps exactly match each other, or else it won't work. So now we have the transparency property referenced. And remember, to assign a new value, you use $1 =. So what you do is you simply just type in banana.transparency equals 0.5. And what it'll do is it will immediately make the banana's transparency 0.5. Right over here, you can see that the part is half transparent, 50% transparent. So now we go back, and let's say, what if we wanted it to become transparent 20 seconds after the game loads in? You can use something called wait. All you have to do is type in wait, and then parentheses. And inside of that parentheses, you type in how many seconds you want it to wait for. Let's say we want it to wait for 20 seconds. We just type that in, and it will run all of these lines. It'll run all of these lines before it, and it'll stop here and wait for 20 seconds, and then it'll continue running lines after that. So let's, instead of actually pressing play, you can also do something called run, which simply just runs the game without actually playing as a character. So the scripts are still running, and after 20 seconds, the part should become half transparent. So if we go ahead and just wait for 20 seconds, the part has become halfway transparent. And you can reference a new number. So for example, local number equals 15, and you can type in number right here, and it'll wait for 15 seconds because number represents the number 15. And yeah. So let's make 3 parts in the workspace. So there should be a total of 3 parts. This is the left part, so let's make it blue and half transparent. Now let's make this other part red and half transparent. And we'll keep the scripts, we'll take the scripts out of them. By the way, if you're wondering how I duplicated those parts, you can do that with Control D or Control C and Control V, but I personally use Control D. And you can move them using select, move, scale, and rotate. For now, we're just using move. Let's say whenever we start the script, we would want the part to start at the blue part, and then we would want it to teleport to the red part's position. So how would we do that? So we go back to the drawing board. What you want to do is, where's the pen at? There it is. So you would take the part. So let's say the part, we'll just reference it as part. And then we would also have start part and end part. So there are 3 parts. The normal part is the one we want to move. We want it to start at the end part, and then after that, we want it to teleport to the end part's position. So how do we do that? Well, it's very simple. To move a part, to change a part's position property, you simply just type in part.position. And every part's position uses a XYZ format in the workspace. X, Y, and Z. But for now, we don't have to think about that. We can automatically set the position simply by placing 2 different parts at different positions. And we would tell the part, instead of typing in a whole new position for the part to go to, we can just tell it to go to the position of an already existing part. So to do that, you use the 1 equal sign to assign a new number or a new value. Because remember, 2 equal signs compares 2 values, and 1 equal sign assigns a new value. And we would change it to the end part's position. So what you do is you type in end part dot position. And what it will do is it will take the original part's position and it will change it to the other part's position. Whenever you have an equal sign, it will change whatever is before it into whatever is after it. Remember that. So now that we've done that, part.position equals end part.position. It will change its position to that position. So what if we wanted it to start at the start part's position first? Well, you would type in the same thing. Part.position equals start part.position. And what would happen here is it would change the part's position to the start part's position, and then it will immediately change it to the end part's position, because there is nothing telling it to wait. And if you remember what I said before, you can tell a script to wait by typing in wait, parentheses, and the amount of seconds you want it to wait. So let's try this. Inside of the part that we want to move, we can have a script. And in that script, we want to reference all 3 parts. The part that we want to move, the part we want it to start at, and the part we want it to end at. So let's reference the part we want to move. It would be local move part equals workspace dot part. Now here's the problem. There are 3 objects named part in Workspace. It doesn't know which one to select. So it's not going to work. What you want to do is you want to make a unique name for each part. So for the starting part, we can simply just rename it start part. And for the end part, we can simply just rename it end part. Now, in the script, we can reference those two parts. Local start part equals workspace dot start part. Local end part equals workspace dot end part. And make sure you get the capitals right, or else it will, if there are no parts in the workspace with the exact name and it has different capitals, it's not going to find anything in the workspace and it won't work. So what you want to do is we want to change the move part's position. So we identify its position in properties right here, and then we change it to the other part's position. So move dot position equals start part dot position, and it will immediately move the part to the start part's position. So what you want to do now is you want to tell it to wait. So we can simply do that by typing in wait for, let's say, 10 seconds. Then after that, we want to move the part to the end part. So we can do move part dot position equals end part dot position. Now if we run the game and rewatch, it's at the start part's position, and after 10 seconds, it'll move to the end part's position. There you go. After 10 seconds, it moved to the end part's position. We can also type in a print, both before and after the wait, to confirm that it has moved. So we can type in print, parentheses, and then we can do quotation marks, because we want to do text, before wait, and then we can copy it. Then after the wait, we can type in after wait. So what will happen here is all of these lines will run. It identifies these three parts as move part, start part, and end part. Right here, it changes move part's position to start part's position, and then it prints before wait. Then it goes here and it waits for 10 seconds, and after 10 seconds it goes here, it prints after wait, then it goes here and it changes move part's position to the end part's position. So if we go ahead and run, you can see right here that it has printed before wait and it is here. And then after the wait, it'll move to this part and it prints after wait. And once again, if you click it, it will select that line in which there is a print. Okay, so what happens if you made a mistake? What if you, for example, you made a typo? Instead of move part, you accidentally forgot to make the M and P capital. Well, what happens is you can see that there is a orange outline under it, and it says unknown global move part. That is because there is nothing being referenced in the script that is just move part without any capitals. If we change it back to move part, it is fixed. But what happens if we start the game and it is left uncapitalized? The script has an error. Workspace.part.script, so it tells you where the error happened. Then it says what the error was. Attempt to index nil with position. Essentially that means it attempted to change a non-existing object's position. And it's like, okay, I'm trying to change the position of this thing, but I'm trying to change the position of something that doesn't exist. It doesn't have a position. So that's what happened. You can simply fix that just like that, and then boom, you're happy. Okay, so what if you wanted to make it to where whenever you click the part, it will become partially transparent when you click the part. So what will happen is to make a part clickable, you want to insert a click detector. And then you can, inside of the click detector's properties, you can change the max activation distance, which is how far away you're allowed to click it from. We can simply change that to 100 studs. Now, inside of this script, we want to reference what we're going to be working on, which will be the part that will change transparency and the click detector that will detect the clicks. So we can simply do that by referencing both of those. So local part equals workspace.part. And to reference the click detector, we can do local click equals part dot click detector, because the click detector is parented by the part. It is inside of the part. Okay. Now I'm going to explain functions. What a function is a group of code that will not run until it is specifically told to run. A function is organized like function and then the name of the function. Just like this. Function name. The name of the function. To start a function, you type in the name in the script and it will run the function. And then after the name, you want to have two parentheses. Now, once you're later into scripting, you will understand what these parentheses are used for. But for now, you just want to leave these parentheses completely empty. You just have to remember to have them, or else the function will not work. So now that we have a function, you can actually reference the function. Actually, to have a function, you always want to have local before the function. So local function name, just like this. This is how you set up a function. Local function name. Remember that. Local function name. Local function name. So now we type in local and then function. And then we want to type in the name of the function. And the name, we can just name it what we want it to do. So for example, we can name it change transparency. And then remember to put the parentheses. Then after you put the parentheses, press enter. Now, inside of this, you can see that an end was created, and there's a space right here. There's always going to be a space. Everything inside of the space represents that it is inside of the function. It just tells you that it's inside of the function, and then those spaces stop appearing after the end. It's just for organization. It's not actually important, but I recommend following it. Most of the time, it is done automatically. Now, inside of this function, we can just simply have it change the transparency of the part. So part.transparency equals 0.5. Now, how do we tell the function to start? Well, you can simply do this by after the function. It always has to be after the function. You can simply just type in its name, change transparency, and then the parentheses. What will happen is we run, and the part's transparency has been changed. It runs the function. If we do not have this, if we take that out, it will not run the function. The function has to be specifically instructed to run, and everything inside of it will run after you tell the function to run. So what you want to do, if we want to have it where when we click the part, it runs the function. We know how to run the function, but how do we know when the click detector has been clicked? Well, first, to check for a click, we know that click has something to do with the click detector. So we type in click because that's click is the click detector. And then you would do click and then the action, mouse click. So now whenever the click detector is clicked, the click detector sends out an event called mouse click. And it will do that every single time it is clicked. So click.mouseClick, and then to tell it to do something, to tell the mouse click event to do something, you type in a colon. A colon basically tells the event that it has to do something, and then you type in connect. Now, I know it's starting to get a little bit weird and complicated, but you just have to think about it. So if we take a screenshot, then we kind of just paste this here. You can see we have created the function, and the function's name is change transparency. And what will happen is this is the click detector. This is the click detector object. And whenever it is clicked, it sends out an event called mouse click. And then right here, these colons represent that you are telling the event to do something. And the instructions for the event is represented using connect. So what does connect mean? That's a strange word. Well, connect basically means you're sending like a signal to whatever is inside of the parentheses to work. So inside of these parentheses, we would type in the name of the function, change transparency. And what will happen is, since this is the event, and this is telling it to do something, it will do everything inside of these parentheses. Only put one thing inside the parentheses. Inside of the parentheses, it is being told to run the function. So now that it has been clicked, it runs the function, and it runs all the code inside of it. To know that it is running the function, we can put a print inside of the function, and we can have it say clicked. So now if we play the game, we have to play the game instead of running it. Whoops. So there was an error right here. Okay, yes. Alright, so I made a mistake. I apologize. Whenever you are connecting, you do not put parentheses after the name of the function. The parentheses are only used when you're creating a new function. That was my mistake. So that is how you fire a function. And you can see how I had the error, and it told me what line it happened. And after I changed that, now it works. And every single time you click, so click detector dot mouse click, when you click it, it fires the mouse click event inside of the click detector. And then we use connect to tell it to do something. And inside of those parentheses, we type in the name of the function. And now that we have the name of the function, it runs all the lines of code inside of the function. And you can put if statements and stuff, and you can say once the function is ran, you can put an if statement such as if number equals 9, then change parts transparency to 0.5 and all that stuff. But that is the introduction to coding and how to do very basic things inside of a code. So here are some challenges for you to do. Here are a few challenges while you're learning, and keep in mind that you don't have to instantly understand everything, but here are some good things to practice. 1. Simply change a part's transparency to 1. That is one thing you can try. 2. Change a part's position with the name part to a part's position with the name part 2. 3, when you click on a part, it disappears. And then finally, 4, when you click a part, its position changes to part 2's position. Now remember, part 2, it means you have to have a second part in the workspace and you have to name it part 2. Alright, I wish you good luck. If you need any help, just say that you need help, holler in the comments, I'll help you. If you appreciate this tutorial and this tutorial helped you, consider liking. And if you're feeling extra nice, then consider joining Stinky Script on Roblox. Thank you for watching, and good luck. I will make more of these tutorials in the future if you ask me to.